at SWAP for the last year or so, and Mick had asked us all to like make a little video talking about the work that we're doing, and most of my work has been around since the pandemic hit, creating the mask making program that we have going. And so this is just to talk a little bit about that. I was a social work intern at New Mexico Highlands, and that's how I kind of ended up at SWAP. From Albuquerque, grew up here, and I come from a family of musicians. My mom and grandmother are piano teachers, and all my siblings and everybody grew up making music, so I'm also a musician. But yeah, so a lot of my work has been about the creation of the mask making project, and kind of just give you a little information about it, how it got started and everything. So back in March, when everything was kind of first starting to happen and things were sort of turned upside down, I started doing a lot of research, like trying to use my practicum hours to research and figure out what community needs were, and how we could help. And a lot of what I found, reaching out to other, groups doing sewing, was, that one, that masks were needed because wearing a mask reduces transmission by 70%. And as I researched different sewing groups and things going on, I didn't really see anybody targeting communities in need. Most people were wanting to target like hospital workers and firefighters and things like that. And so I started talking to SWAP about wanting to create our own supply chain so that we can make sure that we get PPE to communities in need, because the thought process being that if you don't want to overwhelm the hospitals, you want to get preventative equipment to communities who are most at risk for getting COVID, and that would be people who don't have a means of social distancing or don't have access to things, folks who are being cut out of government relief funds, so all these kind of inequitable conditions. And I didn't really see other organizations addressing those things specifically in the way that I was kind of imagining. So after doing some research, I pulled in Mexico Women's Global Pathways. Kazi is a really wonderful person who's been in the Mesilla area for a long time, and I think the organization has been around in different iterations for like the last decade. And so she had her flagship sewing program, and she was really excited to get on board with the project. We also ended up reaching out to Casa Fortaleza, which is an organization that works with predominantly Latin American survivors of sexual violence. So that's another organization that we ended up having a lot of folks who needed work wanting to sew masks where they came from. And then also, as we started getting going and we had the Census design and all those different things, we were donating to Santa Clara, and then Amber saw the masks and was like, well, maybe we can make something happen here. And we ended up with a team of sewers up north in Santa Clara. So those three areas are where we're drawing a lot of the like sewing engine, and all those people are folks who are left out of relief funds, and they need the income. So we have that end of the project, which is employing people to make the masks, and it was Marisol's idea to kind of start printing the census information on them. I have one here. This is one of the ones that is going to the group of sewers that Kazi has going. And then also we have this print. But yeah, so the idea is sort of as we got more sewers on board, people were really excited about being able to sew things in their languages, so they could feel proud of that work. And the other side of the project is that all of these masks are going into places where people wouldn't normally have access or would have difficulty accessing that, or don't have the privilege of social distancing. So I don't know that I can list off the top of my head all the partnering distributors, but just I specifically set out to target like prison populations in the beginning, and also like homeless population, and folks who are dealing with ICE detainment and all those kind of things. And a lot of the strategizing around reaching out to those organizations was based on what populations we could get masks to. So I think we're up around like 12,000 masks at this point that have gone out to the community, and it feels really good, and I'm glad that SWAP could support this project and make it happen, and it wouldn't be without the help of everybody who got involved, starting from the very beginning where it was just kind of, me talking to Marisol, who's my advisor, like trying to figure out what we can do, and then just as it gained momentum, just everybody jumping in and doing their part, everything from washing to starting to help with the media, and it's a much bigger program than I ever could have imagined in the beginning, and it's also going on much longer than I knew it would. I guess I thought, maybe this would be a couple months and we'd be returning all the donated machines in July, but it looks like we're in this for the long haul. So I'm grateful that we have so many people working on it, fundraising for it, delivering stuff, washing stuff, sewing stuff, to keep it going. And I'm glad that we're in it for the long haul and that we can provide employment and we can make sure that people get the PPE that they need.